Hello, I'm Representative Bobby DuBose, the Democrat leader in the Florida House of Representatives, and I have the honor of presenting to you our response to Governor DeSantis' State of the State address. We all want what's best for Florida, but as Democrats, our vision is quite different from what you've heard from Republican leadership. The coronavirus pandemic dominated almost every aspect of our lives over the past year. With Florida having nearly 2 million diagnosed cases and over 30,000 deaths, we've never experienced anything like this before. How we respond, how we help Floridians will be the only important measure of success for this upcoming session. But how do we build Florida back stronger and better than before? I believe we can seize this opportunity for the future of our state. We can turn away from old ideas that do not work in 21st century Florida. I think it's important to national leader and world destination if we are locked in old, outdated ways. We can change our regressive tax policies and move away from low-wage jobs. We have a new president in Congress, and as leaders, we're expected to put aside party politics to work with our federal partners to fight for Floridians. At the same time, our local governments, those closest to the people, need us to focus on state issues and not meddle in their business when they make choices for their communities. Honestly, the priorities we're seeing from our state leaders so far worry us. Instead of immediately trying to pass something that directly helps the people of Florida, we see political distractions. We're worried about House Bill 1, the governor's anti-protest bill that attacks our First Amendment rights. We're worried about efforts to make voting harder here in Florida, attacking a vote-by-mail system that until 2020 benefited Republicans. And we're confused that state leaders would focus their energy on social media companies and foreign countries while Floridians are struggling. These simply should not be a priority right now. We should not be satisfied if our COVID-19 response doesn't take steps to fix our broken unemployment system, help keep people in their homes, or make it easier for them to stay healthy. This is not a year for half measures. One problem this pandemic highlighted is that our healthcare system is fragile. Thousands lost their insurance when their jobs disappeared, leaving them vulnerable at the worst possible time. For years now, we've been asking for Florida to accept Medicaid expansion. This would provide a significant drawdown of federal money, provide health care to thousands of Floridians, and save millions in our state budget. It's a win-win-win. Rejecting this opportunity seems stubborn in the past, but it's absolutely indefensible now. House Bill 341 would finally expand Medicaid in Florida, joining the majority of states, both Republican and Democrats, who already have done so. While loss of health care has been a looming threat, the problem many Floridians struggle with daily is our inadequate unemployment assistance program. Florida offers some of the poorest help to people in need in the country. Our benefits are both meager and short, and the system to apply for them was built to intentionally frustrate Floridians struggling with an already stressful situation. We need to rethink this program immediately. The House could take up and pass a bill like House Bill 207, among other things. This would improve benefits and open them to more people, helping those in the gig economy and seasonal workers. As stressful and traumatic as this year has been for us, we don't even know the impact it has had on our kids. They have dealt with the fear and uncertainty of the virus while adjusting to learning by Zoom. Every parent will tell you it wasn't easy. Our teachers deserve our praise and support every year, but even more so now. They guide our kids through extraordinary times. While funding is important, it alone isn't enough. It's crucial we provide support like House Bill 359, which protects our students and schools from the consequences of high-stakes testing and school grading during the pandemic. As this legislature works through a tough budget year, we need to acknowledge that our schools need help too. We cannot balance a difficult budget on the backs of Florida students. They are our future workforce, our leaders, and the caretakers of Florida long after we're gone. We have an opportunity to make Florida a more equitable place for everyone by rethinking our criminal justice system. We can honor the will of the people who overwhelmingly passed Amendment 4 by considering House Bill 741 to give those convicted of felonies a clear path to having their voting rights restored. Florida deserves fair and just policing policies to ensure everyone is treated with respect and that our law enforcement officers are all considered allies to all communities. That's why the Legislative Black Caucus has highlighted over a dozen police reform measures to improve both officer and community safety in Florida. There are too many bills to name here, but one, House Bill 1451, collects many of these ideas into one piece of legislation. The 2020 election in Florida was heralded by the governor and others as the gold standard, with results counted early and smooth voting reported across the state. But Florida has joined other states attempting to make voting harder. It's tough to imagine this is anything but a reaction to so many voters choosing to vote by mail for the first time and not voting Republican. We should be doing everything in our power to make going to the polls easier. Voting by mail, early voting, and election day voting are all safe and valid ways to cast a ballot. The coronavirus pandemic has been devastating to the restaurant industry and the Florida farmers who supplied them. As our economy recovers, we need to find new markets for all the amazing food the Sunshine State produces. That's why it's more critical than ever to support and expand the Department of Agriculture's Fresh from Florida's program, making it a trusted brand recognized around the world. We are pleased that state leaders are finally moving forward to address the threat of sea level rise and climate change. But we have a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it. Business and nature demands we evolve or die. This is our chance to build the state we all need and deserve. As state leaders, we need to acknowledge that our number one priority this year is helping Floridians struggling with the fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. We must do everything in our power to get our state back on track, move it forward, and make sure that no one is left behind in the recovery. We must choose what Florida we want to leave for our grandchildren, and we must fight to create it. I thank you for your time today.